This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and on this 4th of July, we're having a special look at the hard to find 250th anniversary Walmart exclusive, the red, white, and blue Duke. And man, this figure was a pain in the ass to try to get a hold of. But let me tell you the story of how I got my hands on it. I got home from work, I was screwing around on the computer for a while, I was getting ready to go to bed, and I do mean that literally. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and check Walmart real quick. So I went to the computer, refreshed the page, and boom, he was there for regular price, which is going to be really ridiculously expensive at this point, like just under $28. But that's a hell of a lot better than spending the 56 or 100 or whatever some of the people have been selling them for. The annoying part, of course, is that I've seen posted online where people have been buying this guy on clearance at some places too. To quote Harry from Resident Alien, that is some bullshit. But anyway, I got my hands on him, red, white, and Duke. So let's go ahead and take a look at the back of the package. We've got the multi-language file card here. I will not be reading all those languages, but we will go ahead and do English. Duke, Hauser, Conrad S. Role, First Sergeant. Though why they didn't say rank there instead. Primary specialty, Airborne Infantryman. Secondary specialty, Artillery Small Arms Armorer. Birthplace, St. Louis, Missouri. Graduated the top of his class at Airborne School. After running 4 different Special Forces schools, he turned down a commission to instead serve as acting First Sergeant of G.I. Joe. He believes in leading by example, which is why he's always alongside his troops in the thick of battle. We're the good guys, and they're the bad guys. The job of the good guys is to put the bad guys out of business. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this guy up, shall we? So Duke here is just a repaint of the first RetroCard back one, which has the figures based more on the cartoon series. And he's in the red, white, and blue color scheme. On the shovel, it says, G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Alright, so I'm having trouble reading the shovel here, but I think what it says is, G.I. Joe, a real American hero. Wherever there is danger, over land and sea and air, G.I. Joe is there. Which, I don't think that was in the original theme song, but I believe it was in the second theme song. Or was it in the original theme song? Or the second season theme song? I don't remember. But that is hard as hell to read.
It was actually in the movie theme song.
So like before, just goes in his back. His accessory includes a white pistol. I don't think this is designed after an actual existing pistol, but just, something similar for G.I. Joe to use. Unfortunately, it is a bit bent. Although it does feel like hard plastic. I feel like we haven't seen really hard plastic in a while. We can put that in the sheath on his leg. I do kind of think, though... Oh, Jesus. What the... There... It looks like... I don't know if this is the tape that was holding it in place earlier and it just came off, but... There's still tape on the gun, on the rifle. And this is the basic G.I. Joe generic rifle here. White paint with red on the back. I will say this. Honestly, I like the idea of doing the red, white, and blue Duke here. But I do think he's missing a lot of red. Like, there should be more of it. Like, maybe the guns and helmet should have been done in red instead of white. I think that might have looked a little bit better. But they put an awful lot of blue on this one. But yeah, generic G.I. Joe rifle from the cartoon. Here he's got a knife with a white blade and a brown handle. This I'm kind of surprised. Like, they could have gone away with, like, if they're going to do this, maybe do, in this case, a blue handle with the white, or just, a normal knife, but that'll go in his boot sheath. Maybe. His helmet, again, white. It's got the G.I. Joe Star logo on it. And a visor that should lift up and down, but is hard to move. But that can go on his head just like that. And then he's got the gun based on his original gun from the toy line back in the olden days. At least I believe this is where it came from. And it does have a removable clip. Nothing on this one is painted. Again, I do think the white weapons are kind of dumb looking. I would much rather they have been, like I said, maybe these in the helmet should have been done in the red. Then he's got his binoculars, which are in the blue. Although I don't know anybody who's going to display their Duke wearing the helmet, to be honest with you. But articulation-wise, let's get this out of the way. The head is on a ball joint. Can look down and up and sideways and over. Can even do a little wobble there. Like always, the ball joint does have this little groove in here, so it can move all around. The neck has its own bit of articulation. Another ball joint down there, so you can move the neck forward and back. And you can even turn it if you hold on to it well enough and do it, but I don't want to because it just looks weird and creepy when you move the front of the neck around to the side and stuff. We have a butterfly joint here on the arm. It works real good. The arm itself can hinge up and down and can spin around. We have a bicep cut, so we can do a full swivel there. We still have the double jointed elbows here. Wrist spins at a 360. Right hand has up and down articulation. Left hand has in and out articulation. He has a boob cut, so we can move him all around. Bend a little forward and bend a little back. We can spin at the waist and wobble that all around because, again, another ball joint. Kick forward, kick back. He's got a little butt crack. Kick out. And do some of that karate action when he's fighting the Cobra. And we can spin the leg all around like so for the thigh cut. We get another double joint at the knee. We can spin his foot at a 360 here on the boot cut. Hinge at the bottom. Spin at the peg there. So like I was saying, the 250th anniversary of the United States version of Duke here is just a red, white, and blue repaint of the original release of the RetroCard back one. What I didn't realize, though, is that the RetroCard back one, the first one, actually has that same thing stamped on the shovel. It's just a lot smaller. So that being said, I do actually think this was a worthwhile version of Duke to get. Like, I do think they overdid it with the white, and they should have put some more red in there. I don't understand why they didn't just go ahead and do all of his weapons in red instead of having white with some red highlights on them. But for whatever reason, the Hasbro designers decided that they didn't want to put too much red in there. And that's a shame, because I think that, especially the cartoon rifle there, I think if it had been red with perhaps the dark blue at the back with the white star in it, I think that would have looked great. But otherwise, I do like the idea for this figure, and I'm glad I managed to get my hands on him. Like I was saying, when I found him online, I kind of panic bought him because there's other stuff I wanted to get if I placed an order, and I kind of forgot to put those in the cart. So if you can get your hands on him, I think he's going to be a great one to add to your collection. I did order 2 of them because I wanted to leave one on the card because it is a special edition figure, and I kind of like that idea. But I'd like to know what you guys think of this version of Duke. Like I said, I do actually like the coloring overall. The idea, the concept was good. They just should have put more of the red in there. Like I said, the helmet and the weapons I think would have been perfect if they'd done that. But why don't you let me know what you think in the comments below. And I want to know if you are actually interested in this figure and if you got him, because I believe he was also canceled from people's orders from CouncilCon as usual with Walmart. If you did enjoy this look at our 250th anniversary version of Duke, please feel free to shoot that like button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Perhaps you might want to tickle that notification bell a little bit. Thank you for watching. Peace and love.